On behalf of the chairman, Senator Scott.
All right, thanks. General and Admiral, can you talk about the importance of the relationship with the Philippines and military to military? Is it getting better? Is it important? Is it going to be important to deter China?
Sir, absolutely. All our allies and partners. I would say that's the one asymmetric advantage we do still maintain is our extensive allies and partners. But Philippines in particular, especially the Marine Corps, we train with them regularly. As you know, or probably know, they're developing a coastal defense regiment that is very similar to where we're going, and they train with us in all the various exercises, Bala-Catan and all the rest. So absolutely, sir, vital and critically important. I think, Satan, if you have anything additional to add.
I can look at a map and identify its key terrain. And I think, and broader than the Philippines, but in terms of the places and access that we're going to need, that we need to continue with our partners that are throughout the Pacific, building relationships and trust that could be future access.
Do both of you feel comfortable that our military to military relationship is improving?
As the RIMPAC commander in 2020, I believe, the Philippines participated during COVID. And during those types of exercises, it's about building relationships and trust at the task force level and below. And the performance of the Philippines and all the allied and partners that were out there during COVID, they earned my trust.
And likewise, sir, I mean, our stand-in force right now is the 3rd Marine Expeditionary Force. They are there, right? They train, live, eat, sleep inside the CCP's weapons engagement zone. And they partner with allies and partners there all the time, sir. It's regular. And so and obviously I think all of us are seeing access is becoming opened up, right? I mean, things are moving. We just need to seize the initiative here and keep this momentum going. Because quite frankly, my opinion is that I think Dictator Xi has overplayed his hand a little bit, and people are starting to see what it's all about. And so I think allies and partners are very quickly seeing they more align with the U.S.'s values and how we support international rules-based order. So I think it's moving in the right direction.
Can you two talk about the AUKUS agreement? And I mean, there's some criticism now in Australia over it. And is there really at risk? And if it is, how important is that to us?
AUKUS presents an enormous opportunity that can lift all our industrial bases up by building dominance in the undersea domain.
Do you think there's at risk right now?
No, sir.
I don't think so.
We are committed. There is work to do. 2023, we'll start doing work calls and some embedded crews, if you will. No later than 27, we'll get some rotational, or no earlier than 2027, getting some rotational forces. And then in the early 30s, we'll make a decision of how we're going to sell Virginia-class submarines up to 5.
Sir, obviously, I'm not in the submarine business other than trying to help the fleet detect them and help them kill them, which is part of what we're doing in the stand-in force. But I will tell you from a MRF-D perspective, right, and I think we've changed it now to Marine Rotational Force Southeast Asia, that continues to expand. So you now actually have the 1st Marine Expeditionary Force from Camp Pendleton assuming responsibility for the MRF-C, as well as you have 3 MEF that's obviously in Okinawa. And then obviously with the UK, sir, we deployed a JSF squadron aboard Queen Elizabeth that did a worldwide tour. So you had, UK F-35Bs, Marine F-35Bs, forward deployed on a really, really capable amphibious ship. And it obviously came over into the South China Sea. So all good news, sir.
Is 3D technology important? I mean, we're going to be able to come up with things quicker? Is it going to reduce cost?
Sir, absolutely. Maintenance cycle times, delivery, it's right there on the tactical edge. We're doing, obviously, my background is aviation, so I have to be a little more careful, right? Things have to be certified, obviously, because bad things can happen. But we're using 3D printing now, sir, for small things like, consumables on airplanes that don't have to be certified, and it's really helpful.
I'll leave the company name out, but I was recently at a 3D in Ohio for an engine manufacturer, and what they're doing in printing engine components. And what they can do is faster than we can typically pour metal to build the stuff. So I think there's enormous potential as this technology continues to mature. I'm not an engineer, so I'm not going to talk about critical flight safety. I'm aware of it, but just making sure we have an understanding of those critical components that they meet the specifications. And Mr. Stephanie, in the short time, I don't have anything to add.
Yeah, unleashing this and making it at scale everywhere part of our business is where we have to get to. Casting and forgings is one huge area, but it applies to the whole, all of our industry. Thank you.
Thank you.
On behalf of the chair, Senator Peters.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, Admiral, I want to first off say I just commend the efforts made by the Navy in developing UAS aircraft refueling